Interesting game, this one, I think.
Yeah. Well, the history of these guys Swansea hasn't been around for long since they've 40 years since they've been quite fine, which would be massive, man. And Edgeworth have been far behind them. 13 premierships, perennial finalists. Might be the difference between the two today. Big giant down on the left hand side. Got a good foil too from a couple of the games I watched.
Yeah, the little American, the two boys up front. I've only seen them once this season. The two boys up front, and they give them something. The opposition are very well.
Feed well off each other.
Yeah.
It's that big small. So sounds good to go?
Yeah, that's all good to go.
Yeah, no worries.
Do you guys get to choose either any of the headphones or it's supposed to be like a specific one for each of you?
Mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've got my own, that's why I said to you, do you want mine? Do you want me to put mine in? Or I've got my own here, so I'm happy to just give it. Use
That's all good to go.
Yeah. I tend to stand up to do the job, so wherever Brett's comfortable, I'll work with him, I'll work off him. Go from there. I usually stand up, you're probably still taller than me anyway, mate. So. This referee here, the one on the left-hand side, he's from where I live. I know his family. Yeah, Charlie Smith. Charlie O'Brien. Known him for years. His sister was a national level swimmer. Ooh. Do you need a team list or anything?
I'll just work off you, really. I wouldn't say I know that much about either group.
Yeah.
I've never done a Edgeworth game, so I don't really know too much about their players. But I'll just talk through it as the action happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you find the football?
Look, it's not yeah, it's a little bit more. So obviously, there's some good elements. What I tend to find is actually the last probably 30 consistency, and where there is probably that's different. I've only done, no, I only do it every now and again. I did Broadmeadow and Belmont about a month ago, where Belmont beat them 1-0. So and from the boys' show go to, I used to coach in New Zealand. So when I was in New Zealand, the show go to was played for me. So I know a little bit about the show's background. Yeah.
And Chris McPherson sent me a little bit about you, so if you're happy for me to introduce you as this.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it if you don't. No, it's great. I already told he showed me, I went, oh, it's the same one I thought it was. It's not that guy. Oh, that's so good. What a great experience you must have had to be able to play.
Yeah, you sort of, when you reflect, it's an interesting career path, and you wouldn't swap it for the world, but it's been very fortunate to be able to experience all the highs and lows of only English football. I only ever played in England and never played elsewhere, but
I Hibernians for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's like, when I went there and I went to watch a game in Malta, it was like walking around with royalty.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I'm like, this is my good country. And they go, oh, he's a footballer.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It's amazing how the game takes hold of nations. You know?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Interesting, when I went to New Zealand, it's funny because obviously they're a rugby nation. They have no conception at all about what football is like worldwide, so they actually think rugby is like football.
That's incredible. Yeah. If I end up talking over the top of you, if a scoring moment happens, don't be able to get it's good.
I'll only come in when you really
I'll call
want
you
me to come. Want me to come in.
I'll call you in a lot. Just ask you questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like working with someone else from the football because sometimes in the deadness of the game, sometimes it can be a bit monotonous and you're trying to figure out things to say, things to pull out. So it's better to have someone that's very learned and say, okay, well, what might Peter McGuinness, the coach of Edgeworth, be thinking at this point in the game at quarter of an hour or whatever, and really just it's almost like talking between two mates in a pub. That's sort of what I've always been told about calling scores with other people, just like two blokes in a pub having a chat about the game. You can keep it at that. It's generally pretty fun. I'll lean on you a fair bit, especially for the tactical type stuff.
Yeah, individually, I probably would like. I know that, like I said to you, I think that in the game that I did last against Belmont, obviously the front two they did work quite well together.
16 and 7. 34 of the 47 goals have come from either a 16 or a 7. So 16's back 25.
Yeah, that's the big children do.
Yeah.
Very aggressive.
Newspaper articles about him suggesting that the Jets might get him to the Bundesliga Academy in Germany.
Yeah,
That's about it.
like everything, it's levels at the moment. I think he's shown that he can certainly do it at this level. It'd be interesting given a chance, but it's about getting given a chance, I suppose.
Yeah. Which anyone doesn't matter. We're not on, are we? Do you need me to turn something on to switch it on, or do you control it? Yep. One, yep. Robin, can you tell me when we're on the live stream so I can start to get in it? Because if once the players start to come out, it'll go quick. Shogoto. Niakuru. Marco Guerli. Righto. Thanks, boss. They've just started out. Good afternoon and welcome everybody to the Northern New South Wales finals here on the YouTube channel, both sides. Fighting for the 2026 season here in the do-or-die elimination final between the home side, the Edgeworth Eagles in the black. The heavyweight clubs in the region here in the NPL men's competition. On their first finals campaign in the top flight since 1986. Ashley Bort's my name, and I am absolutely stoked to be in commentary with former Premier League footballer, professional player and coach, Stockport County Hall of Fame member Brett Angle. Welcome, Brett, and it's a privilege to be standing next to you today, sir.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Yeah, and delighted to be here. I'm looking forward to what I think will be a very tight encounter. Obviously, Bell Swans, I think, have done tremendously well just to get to this stage. I think they're the most unexpected team to be in the playoffs, but now they're in it, I'm sure Edgeworth are going to know it's going to be a very difficult game to get through to the other end.
Yeah, so the cleaner defence is with Edgeworth, second best defence of the season against the might of the Bell Swans attack, who are the third best forward line of the season, thanks greatly to the number 16, which you're going to see on screen. He's a massive unit, the tallest player on the field by the look of things, number 16. Marco Gueli, 190-centimetre brick outhouse, as he was known on the Newcastle Herald recently. 25 goals in 21 games, and he was Golden Boot winner, Brett, until the end of last week when Broadmeadow Magic's Luis Lara Delgado hit 8 goals in a final game to top him. How would you feel getting beat by that?
He'd be very, very frustrated, and I'm sure he wants to take that out on Edgeworth. But I've seen him play, and him and McGree up front are a handful.
So, Belmont Swansea, for those uninitiated in the yellow, coached by Mick Stafford. And Edgeworth Eagles in their traditional home strip in the blue and the red sash, or the red stripe, coached by Peter McDonald. Quietly confident this afternoon. The higher up of the two sides, as McGee picks this one up early outside the box. That's relatively well defended and then skillfully distributed. This ball's with Flynn Goodman, who just calmly plays it back. So last time these sides did play against each other here at Jack McLaughlin Oval, it was a 2-0 win to Edgeworth, and it's the only time all season, Brett, that Bell Swans did not score in the 22 games this season. So I'll be looking for something very similar this afternoon.
Yeah, and the game started probably in the shape that it's going to. Bell Swans won't try and press really high. They'll allow Edgeworth to take the ball on and build possession. I think they'll be happy doing that, and then once they get into Bell Swans' half, I think they'll then be a lot more pressured in relation to that. So I think the interesting thing will be how quick Edgeworth can move the ball between the lines to create those issues for Bell Swans.
Someone just did well to keep that in then. I'm pretty sure was Stephen Cordwell, who pops in for a couple of goals every now and then. He's got 6 goals for the season for Edgeworth. Harrison out of the back half. Xavier Wowries, who has popped up every so often also for a couple of assists. That ball forward. Nian Kuru is the guy that they're looking for, the number 10. Expertly cleared away by Chris Fayers, who was a local of Singleton a very, very long time ago. Interesting with Chris, I used to train a couple of athletics kids, and Chris was one of them. That was about 18 years ago, 16 years ago, so it's great to see him realising his dream of playing football at a high level. He's played in Spain at academies. Loose touch there from Matt Jones.
Yeah, a little bit of a soft start, really. No, you know, the game's not really got going. Edgeworth obviously have had more possession. Bell Swans have done what they normally do, which is basically try and get the ball forward as quickly as they can. And I think realistically Edgeworth are going to know that. They're going to have to compete against it. And like I said, I think it'll all come down to how quickly they can move the ball between units and put Bell Swans under a little bit more pressure.
Wonderful target play work there by Gueli, who shot it out to Irvine.
Rundle, and a first free kick of the match will fall to Andrew McGee, who was fouled quite harshly, not overly cynically, but referee had to blow the whistle there. Good opportunity.
This is a great opportunity, and one that I think certainly from set plays, although Edgeworth do have enough tall timber to deal with it, it is something that I think the Bell Swans, they do have quality in these areas and also players that will attack the ball.
So standing over this one is McGee at the moment. There's a couple of them actually. Pettit and Chris Faze has decided to retreat. Grayley would be the obvious target in the 16. He's 3 back. Right to the back post. Headed in dangerous area. And Reece Newton. Wow, Brett, you couldn't get an easier finish than that. And Bell Swans, they take the lead. 4 minutes gone. Edgeworth 0. Belmont, Swansea FC 1.
So McGree's tried the deeper ball in for the big centre-back coming over the top, and I think it was actually the opposition defender that headed it perfectly back across. And like you said, realistically couldn't miss from there, in the right place at the right time. And it's now 1-0 to Bell Swans.
Early days. Great start from the away team. Belmont Swansea. Their first finals appearance at the highest level in northern New South Wales since 1986. Can they make the dream come true? Still got a long time to figure it out. Edgeworth are a high-quality side, as I said earlier on. 13 premierships to their name. Perennial finals contenders. They do have the better defence, mind you. But like you said, Brett, that header across the goal, he couldn't have given it better to him if he tried.
No, again, all about the delivery in. It's played in deep. Centre-backs come over the top. I think it's then troubled the opposition defender, and he's actually managed to head it exactly where the centre-back would have wanted it to be headed. And there was Reece Newton in the right place at the right time just to divert it in, and a great start for Bell Swans. They couldn't have wanted for better.
Thrown into Ian Matthews, who sends it deep. It looks like they're almost playing with the aid of a breeze here, the Bell Swans. That's come off a couple of plays. Referee says play on. A short clearance away from Blunden. That's dangerously bouncing around in the defensive half for the Eagles, but they managed to clear the danger. Fayers with a relatively trusty touch that just got away. And Stephen Caldwell, just leave that one to be thrown in. They've got a wonderful story, the Bell Swans. Taylor persistence, resilience and hard work. They recorded 10 wins this season, including victories over Broadmeadow Magic, the premiers this season, top of the ladder. Edgeworth, Eagles and Lambton Jaffers all in the top 5. One of the big improvers, as you said in the intro, Brett, of 2026. Lost 4 of their last 5 games, but they'll have nothing to lose this afternoon, and the start has just been superb.
Yeah, they're a team I think nobody really enjoys playing. They work very, very hard individually and collectively, and obviously with the 2 front lads doing what they do, they've got an end outcome as well.
So Neon Kuru has a couple to beat him, Matthews and Fayers, and Matthews will put that one into the car park of the Edgeworth Bowling Club.
I think there'll be a few more going that way as well. They certainly feel that they're not a side that will genuinely want to play out in their defensive third.
If in doubt, kick it out. That was anything I've ever been taught about defending in any sport. That looked quite dangerous there. It came into Goodman. I had a sneaking suspicion it was offside originally, so referee proved me relatively correct. And so far, so good for Belmont Swansea. They're, like you said, Brett, they're going to be very compact. I don't think they're going to want to come out too often. And now that they've got the early goal, they can do a bit of the sitting back and allowing Edgeworth to really just absorb all the possession that Edgeworth can have and see if Edgeworth can come back. That's purely and simply where they'd be at the moment.
Exactly. As I said, they're not a team that presses high early. They're a team that will generally be, they'll let them play and then get into that their opposition half and then really get bodies in and around. So certainly there's going to be less space for Edgeworth in the opposition half than there is in their own half.
A little bit of spittle and a bit of drizzle here at Jack McLaughlin Oval, as won't hurt the players one bit outside Edgeworth have got plenty of time. The only benefit of an early goal is you've got time to recover from it rather than a last-minute finish. So Edgeworth will still fancy that they've got lots in the tank. As a long ball sent over to Caldwell. That's held up well in the breeze. Recovered by McKechnie. He picks it up about 35 metres out from the goal. Sends it back to a teammate. Looking inboard here for Tyson Jackson. Jackson tried a little bit of trickery and out-tricked himself on that occasion. Nyankuru turns back to goal. Cross to Goodman on the wing on the left-hand side. Goodman taking on his defender in Matthews. Goodman sends in, nicely cleared away by Fayers, who's been immense in the first 9 minutes. Goodman looked like he got held by the shirt then. Referee says play it. Ball sent away, and that was very surely defended again by the Bell Swans as Tyson Jackson picks that one up about 5 metres from the halfway. Across it goes to Jones. Jones turning back on the inside. Might take a strike here, I thought, but came out to McManus, who turns over possession. Looked like it opened up for Jones there just momentarily. Shoemaker.
Certainly probing a little bit more in that final third there. Goodman got into a good position, but again, couldn't find a black shirt, and well defended there by Bell Swans once it comes into the box. And I noticed that last time when I saw them play against Broadmeadow that they do that very, very well. They defend the box very, very well. And Broadmeadow certainly struggled to actually open up the Bell Swans' defence. Most of their opportunities came from deep.
Gwaley. Header away was enough from Conway. Fayers another short-headed clearance. Shoemaker, and just finding it difficult to get it too far past the box here, the Edgeworth side. Very compact in defence. Looked like a 4-3, maybe a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-1-1, in fact. As
yeah, they'll generally start with a 4-4-2, and obviously McGree will drop in to make it a 4-5-1 with Guy mainly the main focus of attention when they go from back to front.
So first 10.5 minutes negotiated beautifully by the away side. Belmont Swansea FC, the Bell Swans as they're colloquially known. Started their history in 1935 under the name of the Blacksmiths Football Club. So that's headed away. Nicely put in again there by Irvine Rundle. Oh, sliding challenge. Gwaley was almost effective, and the Eagles get away here through the ability of Goodman, who sends it wide, trying to keep it in Caldwell, but just ran over the sideline. So, yeah, the Bell Swans, they started under the name of the Blacksmiths Rangers Soccer Club in 1935. They changed their name officially to Belmont Swansea United Soccer Club in 1956 after they were promoted to the Hunter Valley Second Division. And under Football Australia rules, all clubs now have to be called football clubs, so they eventually changed their name then. But they've got an interesting history. They won their first, well, they came into First Division in 1967, which is now the Northern New South Wales NPL men's, and won grand finals in 1970, 77 and 78. So 48 years ago was their last premiership in the top flight. 40 years ago was the last time they played in a final before today. So their fans will be very excited. Mick Stafford, you can, if you're observant enough, or you're even at the ground watching the live stream, you can see him on the touchline. He's just pacing and got the hands in the pockets. He'd be a very nervous wreck at the moment. Being 1-0 up early would, well, you're a former professional manager yourself, Brett. Being up so early in a final like this, what would you be thinking if you were Mick Stafford?
Well, I think it's one of those, like I sort of said, Edgeworth would be well aware of what Bell Swans are going to bring. And obviously, they've already showed that with the one set piece going into the box. Got a nice, decent knock back across. And there's Newton there to just tap it home. So this would have been the perfect start. You're away from home. You want to silence the crowd. They've done exactly that. Now the game's settling down. but realistically, Edgeworth haven't looked as though they're going to open up the defence. Yes, they've got a lot of possession, and the possession stats are all Edgeworth, but it's what you do with it at the end that really matters, and at the moment, they haven't really created anything.
So Edgeworth in possession again here, closing down McGee. Almost got there, the little pocket rocket. The foil for Marco Gueli in this game. Nice effort back to goal. Cordwell got taken off him. This is Goodman. Takes on Matthews again. Gets to the outside. Couple in the box. Nyankuru. And Nathan Archbold, the veteran goalkeeper of the NPL. Numerous Goalkeeper of the Year titles to his name. He was in the right spot at the right time there, Brett.
Yeah, again, Goodman, and this is a little bit of a match-up, and Goodman's had the best of it at the moment. He's twice got round Ian Matthews. First time it was a defender that cleared the ball. This time it's a decent ball in. Good header, but goalkeeper Archibald, right place, right time for an easy catch.
So Edgeworth just looking to calmly play this out. Goodman's got a ton of space out wide, but that ball had more airtime than a Boeing 747 jet, and it just took too long to get down. Here goes Jones. McKechnie looking to try and open up some space, but this Belmont Swansea defence are very compact. They're extremely well disciplined under the tutelage of Mick Stafford. Nice little bump and shove away. That was McManus, might have been fouled, the referee agrees. That's a dangerous spot for a free kick for the Edgeworth Eagles here at the Nest.
It certainly is. As I said, they'll have a lot of possession in that sort of middle to top third. It's what they do with it. I just feel that at times they don't move the ball quick enough or get people in the right areas that really are going to be a threat, because basically their back four tend to play or defend the box quite quickly, so it's very difficult. There's not a lot of space in there, but a good opportunity here from a set piece to get an equaliser.
It's opportunity now for the Eagles. Nyankuru runs over the football. Oh, and that was touched over the bar by Archbold. Definite save. Should be a corner.
Yeah, decent strike, decent save. Archibald got in around it, needed to just turn it over the top as he couldn't actually catch it in one. But a decent strike, and the first time, realistically, Archibald's actually had to make a save.
Shoemaker then with the free kick. Just struggled to get the number, but Shoemaker with a definite shot on goal. Palmed away by Archbold for his first meaningful save. The other one was a little bit more routine. Nyankuru with the corner. Solid corner. Back stick. That was cleared away. McManus with the header. And it was cleared away by a very well-positioned Bell Swans. I'm pretty sure that was Ian Matthews with the clearance. Another corner here. Taken quickly. McKechnie now on the short one. Oh, that was a bit of physical presence there from Fayers, and Edgeworth starting to make their presence felt here at home.
Yeah, again, a bit of an old school Mick, but then now you don't often see defenders defend the posts. I don't quite know why, because generally that's exactly where it heads to, and Ian Matthews, right position, right time to turn it round and stop a certain goal.
It's a beautiful long throw in. Fayers cleared it away. It's tried to be headed across the goal. They're going to get recycled possession here. The Eagles through Kai Shoemaker. Hope you're enjoying all the action on the Northern New South Wales Football YouTube pages. Shoemaker tries to drive it in, and it's cleared right away again by a very resilient Bell Swans defence. They try to build now through Gualey. Oh, that was a lovely bump there on McGee. And it's getting a little bit physical here. As I said, hopefully enjoying yourself on the Northern New South Wales Football YouTube page. 17 and a half minutes gone here at Jack McLaughlin Oval in the elimination final in NPL men's. Current scoreline through Reece Newton's fourth minute headed goal from a set piece is Belmont Swansea 1, Edgeworth Eagles 0. Ashley Borg here with Brett Engel. And the Bell Swans are looking very comfortable. They've had a couple of slight look-ins, the Edgeworth Eagles. That last header across from Reece McManus. And the free kick from Shoemaker. They're looking to start to build So try to move that ball a little bit quicker, like you said earlier, Brett. Their ball movement's going to be the key against a compact defence.
Yeah, it certainly is. As I said, they've got a little bit more possession. It's going to definitely be all. They're going to have a lot more of that. It's what they do with it, and this is where they can catch a little bit. They go front to back quite quickly, Bell Swans, in transition. So if Edgeworth are not aware, they could get caught with all of this possession and then suddenly give the ball away, and Bell Swans attack very quickly on that transition.
Edgeworth, last start loss against Maitland FC away from home last week. Cost them a chance to get second place and secure a more favourable run in the finals. The goal they've conceded in the 4th minute could be their downfall. Here at Jack McLaughlin Oval, they've got plenty of time to bring it back in. The loss has been the only blemish in a strong end to the season for Edgeworth, with a draw against Western in their previous 4 games and a 2-0 win against Bell Swans. Across comes Goodman. Goodman inside the box again, as he's done a few times in this match, Brett. He's been probably the more likely, the danger man bringing it in for the Eagles.
Yeah, without doubt. There's a bit of a competition there with Matthews and Goodwin. And Goodwin definitely, for me, has been the brighter of the two. He's gone past Matthews 2 or 3 times. That time, Matthews has got themselves back and put it out for a corner. But a very good competition between those two.
Nyankuru with the corner. Back post delivery, punched away by Archbold. Looking to clear it away is Cable. Running onto the contest now is Guerley, who takes on Harrison and skins him beautifully. There's a player out wide in McGee. They look to hit him, but Guerley's pass is a little bit overhit. As he got the speed of Usain Bolt, he definitely hasn't. And unfortunately, that attack breaks down. That was almost a dangerous-looking attack there from the Bell Swans, Brett.
So obviously, from defence to attack, that transition moment, 1 minute a corner, they've cleared the corner, and then suddenly they're at Edgeworth and looking very, very dangerous, and just a little bit, just overhit. Right idea, but just the pass just overhit, and McGree, unfortunately, couldn't get it on the end of it, and it's gone out of play, but just shows the threat that Bell Swans do create, and this is one of the reasons why these two up front have been as successful as they are, because they try and get that ball forward as quickly as possible.
3 p.m. this afternoon, qualifying final of the NPL men's competition at Cook Square Park between Maitland FC, as this one's intercepted. And an open look at the goal. Oh my goodness, that could have been 2. McGee just couldn't make it turn enough. That was close. Goalkeeper's got himself stuck under the goals here. Have a look at that.
Yeah, I'd have thought he'd have buried his head in shame there. Was really giving the ball away very, very cheaply. McGree just had to race after it just slightly, and then the angle not quite good enough for the first time finish to turn it round, and it's hit the side netting rather than in the goal.
So Reece Newton hitting his 5th goal of the season to make this game 1-0 to the Bell Swans, Belmont Swansea FC. As I said, 3 p.m. this afternoon on the YouTube page, straight after this game, will be the qualifying final between Maitland FC and Western Bears. Sure you tune in for all the action of that one, as Matt Jones has that one intercepted and cleared away by Cable. Cable, the right-sided attacking midfielder, fast and direct, according to his coach Mick Stafford. And shout out to Mick for providing a few little buys in the plays, which was very appreciated.
Yeah, Cable's very good at because attacking wise, he's got some good spring in his jump. So aerially, he can be hit on a diagonal and quite tricky as well.
It's an interesting ball, looking for the run of Cordwell. Archbold, apart from the stop in the 15th minute, really hasn't been overly tested. Nyankuru hit a header, which was more keeping practice than anything else. Lovely skill by Cable. There goes the quickness that Stafford was talking about. Excellent sliding challenge, Goodman. Actually, it wasn't Goodman there. It might have been Jackson or Cordwell. Guerley. Cross the goal, dangerous. That bounced off Shoemaker. Trailing it up there is Gotto. Taken off the feet there by McManus. McManus now just calmly plays it back.
McGree didn't give up there. There was opportunities. He had possession. He lost possession. He won back possession again. Then it's got into Guy. He holds it up. And Cable probably just didn't quite get hold of it as well as he'd have liked. But it ricocheted off defenders. And again, shows the threat that Bell Swans do have, given half a chance.
Goodman. Gwaley just chasing down, looking for the bad touch. And Harrison provided it. Gwaley on the edge of the box. He's going to be dangerous, but Harrison recovered.
That's twice now they've given poor possession away. Once with the goalkeeper, once with the centre-back. The pitch is probably, in an ideal world, could have just have a little bit more water on it. And it seems to be a little bit bobbly at times. And some of the players are having a little bit more difficulty in dealing with that.
Second best defence of the year, Edgeworth Eagles. So the long throw comes in. Gwaley, well, obviously the target, I think, was Newton there for a second. Gwaley was sitting a little bit more central.
Yeah, didn't really get hold of the throw, really. We were all expecting it to go a little bit further than it did.
That one a little bit longer. Cleared away Jackson. Bit of time for the Eagles to get through. That was a clearance. Was more rush than anything from Blunden. He had more time and he's given away possession. McKechnie, furthest wide on the left-hand side is Shoemaker, but they go widest on the right-hand side to McManus, who puts a lovely ball in, not bad at all. Shoemaker now to retain it. Pass was quite hard hit, but it was controlled with some aplomb by Flynn Goodman. Tries to stand up Cable, bringing in a nice ball. That was well cleared away. That was Blunden. On the ball now is Newton, using a bit of strength. McGee needs to hold this up if he can. The rush is on here from the Eagles. Try and intercept in midfield, and they give away the free kick. Bailey Irvine Rundle takes it. Every time the Bell Swans can clear, Brett, they seem to be a lot more composed. The second they get in the middle, they've got that hold-up play that just seems to be very effective, and the Eagles seem to rush it.
Yeah, again, it's that transitional moment. I think it catches Edgeworth out a little bit. They're a little bit... And again, you can understand. I think it's the concern of what they've got up front because of the amount of goals the two up front have scored. They're always conscious that if they leave them alone, there could be trouble. So they tend to play a little bit deeper. But certainly they have looked quite a threat at times. Never quite got the end product at the moment, but have looked quite threatening that there might something come of those transitional moments for Bell Swans.
It's another throw in here to Belmont Swansea FC. See how long they can get this one in. Headed away. Final touch McKechnie, and then given the old heave-ho out to the centre of Jack McLaughlin Oval. Blunden goes back to his keeper, and they just have a bit of a reset. The old long ball principle for Belmont Swansea FC today. They don't need to rush things too much in this game. Not after the early goal from Reece Newton, his 5th of the season in the 4th minute. It sees them lead this game, this key do-or-die elimination final, 1-0 here. Over the home side, the Eagles at the nest, and they take this free kick quickly. Gwaley almost released. Wowery's got in the way. Taken off his feet by Pettit to Gwaley, who's in the dangerous spot. Back to Pettit. Pettit! That is stunning. What a finish. Dean Pettit with his 4th goal of the season. Wonderfully assisted by Gwaley. They thought he was going to strike at Brett, but he gave him the old 1-2, gave it back across to Pettit, and that left foot finish was right out of the top drawer. 2-0, Belmont Swansea.
Yeah, magnificent finish, great interchange, great combination play, again a turnover, but they've made them pay by combining really well, and a very composed finish across the goalkeeper into the far post, and now suddenly Edgeworth are now obviously looking between now and the half-time to get back into this game, because at 2-0, it's going to look an uphill struggle if they do concede a third one.
Well, if you're a Newcastle local, Mount Sugarloaf's not an overly high mountain or tall mountain, but Edgeworth are probably staring at the top of it at the moment. 28 minutes into the contest. It's 2-0 to the Bell Swans, and Edgeworth haven't really threatened in the first half hour, apart from a free kick from Shoemaker and a headed clearance away by Matthews from the head of McManus. Apart from that, the second best defence in the competition in the home and away season have looked quite unnerved, quite nerved at the moment, as Belmont Swansea have been able to break open their defence twice with relative ease and a couple of other chances that were just given away.
Yeah, as I said, they've lost possession, and suddenly that transitional moment for Bell Swans has come about. But what they're good at is making best use of those transitional moments. Pettit, in that instance, has turned over the ball, driven on, created his space, gone on for a 1-2 with Guy who's picked up the ball, and then finished off with aplomb. And I suppose that's the difference between sometimes winning and losing, is the quality in the boxes, and certainly Bell Swans are showing that quality in this first 25 half an hour.
Oh. Peter McDonald might be, I don't know if he'll be too perturbed just yet, but with an hour to go.
I know which position I'd rather be
I know where you'd be. I know if you're a manager, yes.
Certainly not being 2-0 down and having to chase the game. But
no.
You're right. I don't think they're a team that's going to panic. I think they're going to keep believing that they will eventually open up the opposition. My worry would be, is that defence going to be breached again?
Yeah, it's exactly right. They haven't looked as assured as what they probably have over the 22 matches this season, the home and away. Two relatively simple goals through errors. And the corner, you can argue that the free kick that was scored was an error from a header that probably should have gone backwards rather than sideward, as Goodman tries to take on Matthews again. He does so well. Goodman. Nice work, Fayers. And that combination of Matthews and Fayers has been really good in defence. Whenever Matthews has been breached, Fayers has backed him, and that'll be a free kick for Belmont Swansea. So whenever Matthews has been beaten by Goodman, Brett, Chris Fayers has come across and slid really well in defence and helped him out.
And he's had to do that, and he'll continue to have to do that, because I think that is, for me at the moment, the way that there's a likelihood of Edgeworth scoring is through Goodman going 1v1 against Matthews, and then either providing a cross or potentially a shot. Because definitely he's had the better of the exchanges, but there's not been quite that consistent end product to it.
31 minutes gone here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. If you've just joined us on the Northern New South Wales Football YouTube page, it's 2-0 to the Bell Swans. Belmont Swansea Football Club over the Edgeworth Eagles at the Nest on their home patch. And they've certainly come to play today, Mick Stafford's side. 2 goals from Reece Newton in the 4th minute and Dean Pettit in the 27th minute with a stunning finish across the keeper. Still had a lot of work to do when he had it passed across from Marco Guerli. As we see this ball come into the back stick, nice rising header. Pretty sure that was Reece McManus. Bit wide, and another chance gone begging for Edgeworth.
Got up really well there, tapped the ball. He's not the biggest, Reece McManus, but his jump was really good and got over the top of Shogo at the back post, but couldn't direct his header on target.
Jones. Woweries. McKechnie. Harrison. Harrison looking to take on Guerli. That was blundered. Cleared it away. And they'll be in no panic either side, really. Belmont Swansea, they'll be very happy just to sit back and absorb everything that Edgeworth have in this final hour, as Goodman takes on Matthews again, the former Jets Academy player. And backed up beautifully there by Newton. He brings it in, opportunity for Edgeworth, but it's cleared away. He's going to hit it to Guerli, who taps it on to McGee. But he's tracked back beautifully there by Woweries. He's left this short. Guerli might come in, and Conway has gone through. Guerli left a foot in there. I don't think it was anything sinister, though, Brett, to be fair. He genuinely tried to compete. Referee had to pay the free.
Nah, to me, there Gage just basically has to chase that ball down. The ball was short to the goalkeeper, and he's within his rights to go for it. I don't think there was actually much contact. It was just the goalkeeper following through on the big fella, but obviously the referees called the foul. But again, we've seen it time and again. They're not really in the game in relation to having lots of possession, but they look a little bit more. This is the only threat that at the moment, obviously not the greatest ball there, but Goodman's the only threat where I feel that once he gets the ball, something might happen. And for me at the moment, there's probably, if there is one sort of criticism, it would be he needs to get his final delivery a little bit better and certainly find a black shirt rather than a yellow one.
So Goodman tried to clear it. Jones. Oh, that's a solid piece of contact on Caldwell, who goes down very heavily under the challenge of Bailey Irvine Rundle. Referee deciding to keep his hands out of his pocket, and I think he's made the right call there. Caldwell certainly went down a lot heavier than what the contact suggested.
Yeah, I think it was just the ball was there to be won. Both players went for it with only the eyes on the ball, and both have come away with probably worse for wear. But a good opportunity now for Edgeworth to get the ball into the box and ask a few questions of Bell Swan's defence.
Shoemaker and Neon Kuru standing over the football. Neon Kuru to take this free kick. Delivery was just a little bit too heavy there, and Archbold will clean it up.
I suppose we could say that's the slight difference, but the quality of ball in the first half, McGree puts it on to a head, and the head gets nodded over, and then a goal there basically it's overhit straight into the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper can come and claim it easily.
So last goal scorer Dean Pettit had not scored until hadn't scored a goal since the 13th of June when he played in round 15 against the Western Bears and scored in a 2-2 draw. And Newton, well, he'd waited a little bit longer, round 12 against the Phoenix, Valentine Phoenix. So they waited a bit for their goals, but they've come at the right time in a do-or-die final for the Bell Swans against the Edgeworth Eagles. Their first top-flight final in Newcastle. That could have been a foul ref set advantage. Opportunity again here for the Bell Swans as Pettit puts that one into the junior fields. And still 2-0 to score that. But once again, they look very potent the second they get into their front third, Brett.
They certainly do. Again, diagonal ball in from midfield. Found Pettit. He's come inside and suddenly it opened up. But again, it was just the finish lacked a little bit of not the same quality as he has produced in this game.
Goodman tried to take on the speedy Matthews then, but Matthews just tracked back well. Throw in here, Neon Kuru back to goal. Waweries. Goodman. Neon Kuru tries the nifty ball over the top to Shoemaker, but once that's too straight when you've got a compact defence as compact as Bell Swans, Brett, that's for sure.
That's right, and obviously weight was, and it runs through to the goalkeeper. Suddenly, we've got it down the other end quite quickly, and it's put some pressure on the opposition. So, and that's what they do well, Bell Swans. They don't hang about, they don't try and play out. They just get the ball forward as quickly as possible. Caldwell
tried to bring it in. He might have a second go as the defence clears. That's a intuitive touch there from the Bell Swans. It came out to Goto. Wow, that was very silky. Gwelly back to goal. Cheeky backheel was read well by Waweries there. Trying to turn on a little bit of style here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. They've got a 2-0 lead and they've got a bit of swag of the Bell Swans. That one didn't quite pay off, but they look very dangerous as Goodman breezes past Matthews again. Faye's in support. Looking for Neon Kuru. No one there in the box. And you can see in the box there, Brett, it's 6 or 5 on 2 when it gets in. As Jones looks to carry it. He could have a go. Nice ball to Neon Kuru. Shoemaker could have been a target. Goodman. Matthews on him. Goodman just skinned him again for the umpteenth time. Back post delivery, McManus. Clear away from Blunden. Retrieval, McKechnie. His touch was sound. Cross to Jackson. Oh, this is all right here to Cordwell. Offside. That was much better, though, from Edgeworth, although that was disallowed. The movement was much more crisp. Made Belmont Swansea move. Almost finished.
Certainly did. They were a lot more patient with their build-up. They found gaps. They found the runner. And unfortunately, he strayed just a yard early. But a good finish. So that will give them confidence. And that's what they've got to do more of. We haven't seen enough of that to really trouble the Bell Swans back four. Every time they've got the ball wide, they've got the ball in. But as you said, the numbers are in the advantage of Bell Swans, that if it goes wide, they need to get more midfield players in there to create more issues for the Belmont Swansea back four, because they're a tight unit, and like I said, they defend the box very, very well.
London just pushed Cordwell aside like he wasn't there. They've got it back now through Shoemaker. Goodman's widest again. Nice foot in there. It was very effective by Cable. Tries to turn on the afterburners and then the spin. Surely he's been fouled there. Play on, said the referee. We'll let that one go. A few members of the crowd didn't like it. Referee's been really good at letting this game go, so it's in good spirits so far as Jones carries it forward. Niankuru to Shoemaker. Shoemaker strikes, and even the last second bobble doesn't trouble Archbold as he gets down and saves.
No, but again, nice approach play, nice little combination play, create the space, got the strike off. The strike wasn't obviously going to trouble. We would be a bit disappointed with that. But that's twice now. They've looked a lot more threatening with their approach play and build-up.
So, just been a little bit more sharp. Here goes McGee. That was Shoemaker that took it off him. Bit of a shirt pull there. Free kick to the Eagles, and then Cable kicks it away.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both pulling. I think Goodman was doing it as well, but definitely Cable started it, and he was the one that exposed the shirt of Goodman. But as I said, I think now this is a great opportunity between now. If they can get a goal back, we've got a game on anyway, but I think if they can get a goal back now, we're set for a really interesting second half.
So we're at the 5 minutes to go in the first half. The 150-gamer and club legend Reece Newton, as this ball comes in, Cordwell. Reece Newton, who's guided his side to promotion and numerous premierships. First goal of the game after 4 minutes. It would have been thrilling for him as Gwaley gets it across Pettit. Pettit's got McGee. That last touch just let him down, though, Brett. Could have almost been another shot on goal for the Bell Swans.
I think he got caught in two minds. He thought about actually playing it into McGee, or no, also he thought about shooting.
Gwaley, brilliant touch. Nice block, Jackson. Clearance, Jones. Goodman's got space if he wants to press on, but there's no one in support here. It's 7 or 8 defenders on 1 or 2 from Edgeworth. It's been the tail of the tape in the first half. Just too many defensive players for Belmont. Belmont Swansea. Goodman, how he still got possession after he went down, I won't know. Niankuru back to goal, tried the spectacular. And nothing doing there. So we're into the 42nd minute, and Reece Newton's 5th goal of the season for the club legend in your 4th minute, and Dean Pettit's goal in the 27th sees the Bell Swans of Belmont Swansea FC lead it 2-0 against Edgeworth here in the NPL men's elimination final. Ashley Borg here and Brett Angle. It's been a good first half for Belmont Swansea. What do you think Edgeworth might have to do in the second half to bridge this gap?
I think at times, I think in the last 15 minutes, we've seen a little bit more intent from Edgeworth. It's just about that quality. You're right, I feel that they need to get more players into the box. And certainly the midfield players tend to be deeper rather than go and support. So when the ball goes wide, and it's generally been down this left-hand side from Goodman, there's not a lot of options, and that's probably why Bell Swans have generally dealt with that ball coming into the box, because they outnumber the Edgeworth team when the ball comes into the box.
Are they too Gwaley centric in terms of needing to know where he is, or are they just generally too deep and not pushing forward enough?
What I'd probably say is that their player base is a bit more defensive-minded than attack-minded. They're trying to get Schreider into it. It generally goes wide, and then it comes in. But look at the situation now when it's coming in. they're outnumbered anyway, but the ball's going in.
Goodman got it in. Cordwell on the volley. That would have been something very special indeed in the 43rd minute, but it wasn't to be for Edgeworth, still 2-0.
It was, as I said, that one second possession. It's been cleared initially, not that far. Cordwell's just picked it back up on the half volley and just diverted it just over the top of the crossbar. But again, I think there are signs there that if it starts to fall in place, there's opportunities for goals to be scored that wasn't happening in that first half an hour. So the last 15 minutes, I do think that they've become a little bit more of an attacking threat. But for me, they still need to get more players forward to give more problems to Bell Swans.
So just under 90 seconds to go in the first half here. This is going to be dangerous. The goalkeeper just veered away, and if McGee had stolen that, it would have been open net city. But they've been the orchestrators of their own demise for the first 2 goals, the Eagles. Nice little turn from Shoemaker, and he was fouled. Probably the softest of the fouls today, but it was clearly there.
Yeah, just stop the momentum. Schumacher tried to roll the defender and get himself going forward, but just held up. But as I said, I think now, I just feel that it has to be a perfect goal to a degree, because there's not the players in the box that are going to actually create the issues for the Bell Swans when the ball has gone wide. And it has gone wide, certainly more so down this right-hand side.
Or McGee almost got away, and Wallery's cleared it just in time. They've got their four top goal scorers on the pitch now. In Niankuru with 7, McManus with 7, Cordwell with 6, and Goodman with 5. Their next highest goal scorer, Brett, is on the substitutes bench, number 9, Jaden Stewartson with 2. Alex Jones has got 1, and he's on the bench. So they don't have a lot of goal-scoring power on the bench. But they do need 2 goals in this second half. As we've just ticked over the 45, we're in the hands and the discretion of our referee in the middle, who's done a very good job in this elimination final. And as a former, here are the extra time played. As a former AFL umpire of State League and local leagues here, there's a lot of pressure on an elimination game, Brett. I can tell you that from a referee's perspective. As this ball comes into Niankuru, that any errors or any hesitancy with the whistle can see a game get right out of control. But he's done a great job, and so has McGee, who skins past 2 or 3 defenders. And that looked okay. I think he just shifted his body across Harrison, and ref said play on. Came out to Goodman, probably a 50-50 challenge there. That's too straight a ball for Niankuru, who wasn't really running the same line, but play on, said the ref again. Cordwell taken down by Fayers, and there'll be a last-minute opportunity here in the first half for the Edgeworth Eagles as Chris Fayers took down Goodman, and it wasn't really necessary, was it, from the young defender?
Well, I was surprised he didn't play the advantage, because Cordwell's actually got round the back and is about to actually put a decent cross in, and I think they were a little bit more disappointed with the decision of slowing them up than they were about the free kick or whatever, because obviously now Bell Swans have got the opportunity to get back in shape and probably haven't been able to utilise that good position had he not allowed the advantage, or had he allowed the advantage to go on. It would have been interesting, because they were definitely in clear space and had an opportunity. But it's a free kick. They troubled the keeper with the last one direct. So let's see what they do here.
Aaron Niankuru over the dead ball. That one's too high, and the 30-year-old puts that one a fair way over the bar, and probably sums up Edgeworth's first half, Brett.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed. He's not quite got the range at the moment. His balls in have generally been a little bit heavy or what have you. So he'll be disappointed, I think, with his overall performance at the moment. Edgeworth, I think, will also be a little bit disappointed, but also wary that they've got themselves into positions where they threatened but not actually probably produced. So if they can do better with that in the second half, it'll be interesting. But Bell Swans will be
It's a big responsibility.
Yes, you are big.
Your heart and your head don't always agree.
Ah, like Hayes, good deal.
Boring.
Yes.
I love it.
Let's make an offer.
Oh, let's think this through.
But there's one thing they can agree on. With local expertise, great rates, plus a highly rated app, Newcastle Permanent is good for your head and good for your heart.
responsibility.
Yes, you are big.
Your heart and your head don't always agree.
Ah, like Hayes, good deal.
Boring.
Yes.
I love it.
Let's make an offer.
Oh, let's think this through.
But there's one thing they can agree on. With local expertise, great rates, plus a highly rated app, Newcastle Permanent is good for your head and good for your heart.
It's exceptional. We're only seeing one game or two games this season when that happens. Probably enough, actually, I think the first game these two didn't play. The only thing in your league is not changes. No, that's more. So that's the problem that he has, is that he'll have to go to the game. Because if he don't, he'll probably only make his changes. He knows. Sort of like what? Yes. You see? So I think he'll probably go. Just look at that. He'll go all the way with his group. He's probably got one stuff, but he ain't gonna put them on for the sake of putting them on, because I don't think we're really gonna give him. The only time he'll put them on is if he's wasted time, as in they won the game. Like last 10 minutes ago. Yeah, they'll just stop, so we can stop the clock.
Last time they've conceded a few twos, Edgeworth, but last time they conceded 3 was about 10 rounds ago.
I was recall that they got out to a 3.
Results for the year.
I was remembering 3-0. They got up to a 3-0 lead against Belmont, and then Belmont scored 4.
They got 4-0. They won 4-3.
Yep, thank you very much. I was the other team. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, good. Oh, that's cute. That's very nice.
There's a 4-3.
Yeah, they've only conceded 3 a couple of times, and they conceded 4 against Belmont.
I think the entire reason they won that game against us was last time. Belmont were missing a bunch of players.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think they only had 7 of their regular starters, and I'm thinking, bloody. Yeah, both the 7 they weren't there.
Scoring again. I'll ask you that just as that half time up when they kick off. I'll do that. And that way you've got an opportunity to see. It's good, man. It's getting enough of it. Hopefully you're finding enough opportunities to chime in. I'll try and open up a lot of it because it's good to engage with your co-commentators. Just makes the game a bit more interesting for people to watch. I'll take on either Maitland or Western. They drew against Western, they lost against Maitland, and then they've only taken 1 point from those two sides all year, so this could be their say. But just let us know when we're on.
Welcome back here to Jack McLaughlin Oval here in Edgeworth, Northern New South Wales men's elimination final time. Edgeworth Eagles, the home side, trailing it by 2-0. Belmont Swansea FC. 4th minute goal to Reece Newton. And a 27th minute special from Dean Pettit. Sees Mick Stafford's side in the box seat. Peter McDonald had a fair few things to think about over the break. Ashley Borg here with Brett Angle. And Brett, can you see Edgeworth Eagles coming back in this one? And the first question, the second question is, what do they need to do to get back in the game?
Yeah, I can do. I think there were moments in that first half where when their approach play and combination play worked, they looked as though that they were going to certainly trouble the goalie, if not score goals. But likewise, I do feel that they're vulnerable to that Bell Swans transition and didn't really deal very well, so I can also see Bell Swans scoring another goal. I think this next goal, we talk about it in football, but the next goal is so important because of the nature of the game at the moment. 2-0 down, it's an interesting score. One, if you go out and think you've already won, then suddenly go and concede one, then the opposition really do feel that they can eventually win the game.
Well, they call it the most dangerous scoreline in football, the 2-0. As Goodman looks to repeat what he did in the first half. He was one of the best on field for Edgeworth by some margin out on that left wing. This is Jackson, Tyson Jackson, cross to McKechnie. A few plays here for Edgeworth just needing to lift their levels just slightly as McManus to Jackson, back to McKechnie. McKechnie's from range. That's a lot better from Edgeworth. Shoemaker's got a chance, but he dove in rather than having that control. McKechnie again out to Shoemaker, and that's a massively long shot from Jones, which could be best described as a speculator at absolute best.
Yeah, and I suppose that's something that certainly looked at. We go on about the compactness of Bell Swans' defence when they're defending their goal, and that's something I think that they've got to be mindful of, Edgeworth. They're trying to go down those little rabbit holes and the space isn't there, and they're coming up against that defensive block. I suppose, I think there was a lot of combination play, didn't really go anywhere, and then I suppose through thinking, well, there's not a lot else on, I'm going to have a strike.
Goodman was released there slightly by Caldwell. Last year, the Edgeworth side finished second in season 2025, and they were beaten in straight sets last year, losing the qualifier to Western 2-1 and then the subsequent semi to the Jaffers of Lambton by 3-1. This will be their it'll be their fourth straight finals loss if they can't get up today, Brett. If those of you with good memories will remember the 2024 heartbreaking loss on penalties to Broadmeadow Magic in the grand final.
Yeah, so sometimes it can play on people's minds and what have you. They certainly didn't start the game as though they were really, really bright and buzzy. They're having moments where they've got into it, but also within that they've conceded, what I would consider to be quite soft goals, not something that, yes, good finish in the shape of Pettit, but he receives the ball because the opposition have given it away rather than, great combination play.
Jones tried to feed his target man there in. McManus, it's very tight and very compact there, and in the centre of the box, Bell Swans have got that covered all day long, and I think a different avenue to goal might be the best option for Edgeworth, especially up that middle, Brett. They're just getting strangled in there at the moment.
Yeah, and the ball obviously is quite slow, so turning over, it's quite slow. It's easy for Bell Swans to sort of pick out where the likelihood of the ball is.
Ref got in the way there for a second. Matthews blocked by Nyonkuru. Out to Goodman and Nathan Archbold. Ben Conway's just telling the ref to get out of the way, but a bit hard when they've directed it straight at him, really.
I think for me there, he did actually impede Bell Swan's midfielder, and I thought he should have actually blown up and maybe dropped the ball because it did give them an advantage.
So back it goes to Jackson, and Edgeworth will just recycle. Purple patch in 2015 to 2020, they won so many titles, Edgeworth, between that time. Jackson just calmly playing it across or inside. Their into the season was pretty good, apart from last week to Maitland FC. They drew 0-0 in round 21 against Western. They beat Newcastle Olympic 2-0 and Charlestown 2-0, and then Bell Swans 2-0. So they had 3 2-0 wins in a row, Edgeworth. Nyonkuru scored on 2 of those 3 wins. Caldwell and Goodman and Shoemaker chimed in. But it's just too compact in there. I don't know, Brett, if this is the avenue to goal that Edgeworth need to take up the middle. I think they need to stretch them as much as possible and make the defence move and shift and make them cover for each other, because whilst it's in the centre of the right on the D there in the edge of the box, at Belmont, Swansea will just play that low block all afternoon.
Yeah,
Here's Goodman. Takes on a defender opportunity, but once again, Chris Fayers is in the right spot and he's just covering for his man Matthews, who has consistently been beaten by Goodman, but he can't deliver the final cross.
No, that's right. And that's the frustrating thing. They've really not come out to Rhys McManus at all. They don't use the right-hand side anywhere near the same level as the left-hand side.
Here's an opportunity for McManus, who has some space. Pettit tried to close. Nyonkuru tried a cheeky back heel. It's come off the keeper, has it? Should be a corner, and it is. That was Archbold in a good position. So Nyonkuru just tried something a little bit cheeky there.
Yeah, so this time they've come down the right-hand side. McManus has got in behind, and it looked a little bit more threatening, and they've got themselves a corner and see what can happen from here. 2-0
to Bell Swans, and the ref's just blown this one up. A little bit of argy-bargy in the box. Nathan Archbold having a conversation with Stephen Caldwell, maybe about where the local establishment is to have a beer after the match.
I think he was a little bit aggrieved of where he was standing, and he was trying to obviously block him off and stop him from getting to the ball.
So we take 2 here on the corner. Most dangerous scoreline in football is 2-0. Edgeworth need to be the next to score here at the Nest. Nyonkuru with the corner. Goodman standing right on the penalty spot. Delivery's high and it's slow. It was headed down, cleared away by Blunden. Sent back into the mixture. This is Nyonkuru again. It's come off Fayers and it'll be another corner to the Eagles.
Yeah, as we said, from a set-piece perspective, Edgeworth have got plenty of height and they do have defenders that go and attack the ball. So there certainly looks a danger, not only from the first ball, but the second ball as well. Short
corner, trying to make this Bell Swans defence move a little bit. McKechnie, back post, it's quite deep. Trying to retrieve it is Harrison. Gwaley with the upper body strength just pushed him back a little bit. Jones, taken off his feet by Cable. Cable's quick, so if he can get away, it could be a fast break here. Cable's gone past Jones here. This is McGee. I thought he was going to hit him with the ball, but just ended up with Pettit instead. McGee with it now, cuts back in, takes the strike over the bar. But once again, Brett, the second Edgeworth turnover. Bell Swans are ready to pounce, and it almost came on again.
That transition, obviously, they turn it over. It's a corner one end. Suddenly they go forward. Cable's picked it up. Probably be a little bit disappointed from his first shot that the momentum of the move just lost a little bit. But McGree's picked it up and just hit the shot a little bit too high. And as I said, they've always looked a big threat from the transitional moments, Bell Swans. And Edgeworth had never really dealt with it that well. And consequently, at the moment, it looks as though as the game wears on, there's always the likelihood that they'll score a third in that same manner.
Jackson, Nyonkuru, and once again, it's straight and it's not given directly, but it's turned over. Goodman, the most likely. Good stop, Archbold. That was timely intervention from one of the best keepers in this competition. And a lovely bumper shot from Jackson retrieves the football. Edgeworth starting to lift with the home crowd here, and we're looking to start to see some signs of life from the Eagles as Goodman takes on Matthews. Tries to get around Cable, but thinks better of it. Sneaky ball in Cordwell, and that one a little bit too wide for him, but they're just showing a little bit more, the Eagles. Bell Swans might need to just stay compact that little bit longer.
For me that's the best opportunity of the whole game for Edgeworth. It's been turned over, this time by Bell Swans, given away. Goodman's picked it up, gone past Matthews again, and a good save with the leg, the outstretched leg by Archibald to turn it away. So now this is the momentum now just slightly starting to change, and I suppose this is the period I think that Edgeworth realistically do need to go and get that goal to realistically give themselves a better chance of getting back in it.
So Jackson from McKechnie slipping over at the wrong time with Shoemaker. Turnover ball here for the Bell Swans. Gwaley's 2 against 1, but you know what he can do. Gwaley's strength was excellent. This could be the nail in the coffin if he gets it. Gwaley. Sneaky little pass. McGee took it off the keeper's fingers and could have been a foul. He's screaming at the referee, Ben Conway. The referee just waves it away and says, play on, fellas.
Yeah, again, it's almost as if they're a little bit, should we say, aware and giving a bit too much respect to the big German lad, because for me they've been very weak defensively, and again, McGree coming up to join. If the pass had been just slightly better, I think there might have been an end product to that.
Nice steal there, McKechnie. Tries to get in the box, took on Blunden. Good square ball, cleared away, Shoemaker. And it's a lot better when they're out wide. McManus tried to take on, but they've done well. This could end up with us here in the com box, but won't be able to take that one. So Edgeworth, Jackson, back to Woweries. You can hear Conway lift it again. He's imploring his players to move it. Nyonkuru back to McKechnie. Out to McManus. McManus with a bit of trickery around Shogotto. And as they've done all game, the Bell Swans, they've always had someone in cover.
Yeah, as I said, they're very difficult to actually get around. Certainly when the ball's in that final third of the pitch, they defend the box really well and have done throughout the season, and that's the reason why they've been as successful as they have this season.
Long throw and a little bit of a shirt pull there. Nyonkuru looked to go for the spectacular. Shoemaker on the volley. Oh, that's come off the post. Has it got in? No. Cleared away by Blunden. That was almost 2-1. Ball back in the mix. Header across. Oh, that is a great goal. Wonderful header. And it was Tyler Harrison with the finish. Well, the last 5 minutes, Brett, demonstrated it was coming. And Tyler Harrison, with his first goal of the season, sees this game get back to 2-1. Belmont, Swansea FC 2. Edgeworth Eagles 1. We're in the 59th minute here at Jack McLaughlin Oval in this elimination final.
Yeah, perfect timing there for Edgeworth to come back and get that all-important third goal. So now it's very much game on. Great ball in from McManus and a great header as well. It nearly happened just previous to that. Archibald sort of lost his sight in a little bit, ran through a ruck of legs and managed to hit the inside of the post, but they managed to clear, but it came straight back in.
Well, we thought their wings had been clipped, the Edgeworth Eagles, but they're starting to flap around here at Jack McLaughlin. It's 2-1. Jackson with it. Starting to really build and lift. This is Jones. Jones sends it in. Nyonkuru, wrong-footed. Blunden cleared it away. Matthews did the rest. But he goes Gwaley up against Woweries, and Woweries did well. He just stood his ground a lot better than he did in the last challenge. Harrison, the goal scorer, who's given the home side some life with that really good header. It was a top finish running back, and he had to do all the work and crank the neck to make the finish happen, but he did very well to make that happen, Brett.
Yeah, it was a great header. As I said, a good centre-half header going back across the goal. Gave Archibald no chance and nestled into that far corner. And as I said, now the game, they look a little bit more, that's given them the rush. They look a lot more threatening now, a lot more energetic, Edgeworth.
Here goes McManus taking on Blunden. Blunden goes to ground. The challenge had to be good. It had to be sound. And it had to be fair and clean, and it was.
I think they're going to be asked a lot more questions now out wide, the fullbacks, Shogotu and Matthews.
Pettit's gone down with an injury here.
Yeah, and I think what's started to happen, and we were sort of talking at half-time, I think the benches could become all important. I'm not so sure Mick's got that much depth to the bench, and obviously if he's got injuries, he's likely to have to put on players that may not fit the same mould as what's coming out. So it'll be interesting. They look a little bit tired at the moment, but that's generally because I think Edgeworth have picked up the game. They've started to get McManus into the game. They didn't play down the right-hand side that much in the first half, but in this second half, they've started to give a little bit more opportunity to McManus to come into it, and he's having as much success as Goodman was on the left-hand side as well. So certainly with this last sort of half an hour, if this continues, it's going to be a tough job for Bell Swans to not concede.
So substitution, Dean Pettit coming off the field, coming onto the field, number 19, Jed Hornery. Jed Hornery, the 27-year-old. Long throw in. Oh, it's turned across. That was almost there from Caldwell, and Goodman just headed over the bar. He probably had a little bit more time than what he thought to let the ball come down and just head it in. But when you're in those situations in a 6-yard box, Brett, you don't really have time to think, do you?
No, you don't. And again, big long throws created all the issues. It's bounced a couple of times. Somebody's got a touch on it. It looks as though it's going to go in, and I think Matthews has headed it off the line. So again, it's now just starting to look, they're looking a little bit more vulnerable defensively, Bell Swans. And I think this next sort of 15 minutes, I think Mick will want his team just to get a little bit more semblance of control, because realistically it's been all Edgeworth in this second half.
They've turned on the skill and the style here in this second half. Edgeworth, they've really fighting for their NPL season lives here. 61 minutes gone. It's over the hour mark. And it's still 2-1 to Bell Swans. He had his left arm right over the shoulder of Gwaley then. Gwaley turning back on the inside, bouncing off Woweries. This is Hornery's first touch of the football. Well done there by McManus. Took it right off the feet. And good defending from the front there from Bell Swans to try and retain position.
Yeah, they're such a threat, those two up front, McManus and Guy. They don't really need quality. They chase things down and they create issues for the opposition. And throughout, for me, that's the way they're likely to go and score, is go front to back quite quickly and get those two in and around each other and combining.
With 27 minutes to go, this game, if it's still at 2-1, will definitely open up as Edgeworth try to get that equaling goal. As they've turned this over inside their opposition half for a throw. McKechnie, who's starting to get on the ball a lot more in this second half. This is Goodall. Nice turn from Goodman. Across in for Cordwell. Cordwell taking on Blunden, who dove in and did a great job again in defence. It's been so solid, the number 4. Jones picking it up. Jackson has a bit of time to strike if he wants to. Blocked by his own teammate there in Neon Kuru, and there's a turnover ball. That was McGee to Gwaley, and that was much better from Woweries. He read the ball and read the path of the ball and got in the way early. That should be a free to Bell Swans as there's a shirt pull. Play on, said the ref. And he's going to eventually pay that one. I reckon that might have been the square up for the one missed about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, definitely a pulling of the shirt on show go to, but wasn't given at the time, but they've managed to get it. But again, likewise, those front two, if they are left unattended, definitely can actually create another goal for Bell Swans. They've just had a little bit more better opportunity of building play.
Gwaley heads down, almost expecting McGee to run onto that, but he wasn't quite there. Blunden. Touch good enough from Hornery. Nice interplay with Newton. Big bump and shove there from Neon Kuru. And draws the foul on 27-year-old Hornery.
Not so sure he really wanted it on his left foot. He was half thinking about trying to go past and then ideally wanted to come back inside onto his right foot. But this is a little bit of a better opportunity now for Bell Swans. McGee to put the ball into the box. We saw it in the first half. It created a goal. Could they do the same here in this second half?
One feels they need a third goal, the way Edgeworth have played in this second half, and if they can get it, don't think it'll kill Edgeworth's hopes off, but it'll certainly give them a big mountain to climb as they send this one in the box. Blunden on the back post, it just curled away slightly from him, and Conway releases quickly to Goodman, who has been probably their best player, to Neon Kuru, who would like to get in the game a little bit more than he is at the moment. McKechnie gets around Hornery just about. Jackson.
I think McKechnie's having a little bit more success now in actually building up the attack for Edgeworth, and also I think now they are actually using both sides of the pitch. We didn't see a lot of McManus in the first half. It was all down Goodman's side, but I think we're getting a little bit more now where they are coming. Central ball near Kuru just couldn't quite trap it. He gives Xavier Woweries the thumbs up and says, that wasn't a bad ball, mate. I just couldn't trap it, as Archibald clears, and it's, you know who it's going to when it goes that long. This is Cable. Oh, good trickery to get around Shoemaker. Gwaley tried to run into the space. I think he might be offside here, Gwaley, but referee said no. McGee just fluff the lines a little bit, open it up. McManus takes on Goto, and Goto gives away the foul. The Japanese 37-year-old who's played from Tokyo, he's played in Latvia, Canada, New Zealand. He played under you, what you told me before the match too, Brett. What was he like with you? He did. Show played many years ago. It must be 8 years since I came across Show. And he played higher. He was a good little, very intelligent player. So we used to play him, and obviously he was younger then, so he had a little bit more mobility, but he's done really well.
Nyonkuru could have touched it onto Shoemaker, who was running in. This is Jones, bounced off a defender. Hornery did well. Nyonkuru retrieved. Back to that central position to Cordwell. Cordwell tries to take it off the Bell Swans. Shoemaker, Nyonkuru. McKechnie. Straight at the keeper.
Yeah, it was a little bit scrappy in that middle section. It wasn't really going anywhere. Nobody was really looking. And then suddenly McKechnie saw a bit of space, didn't really catch hold of it. And it was quite easy in the end for Archibald to deal with that one. As I said, I just get the feeling now that this next 15 minutes could decide where the game goes.
Oh, that was almost taken by McGee, and you could see his frustration. Cordwell can get this turn. Goes over the top to Goodall, and Blunden, who's been always in the right spot, cleared away by Goto. And this is the experienced Newton, the skipper. Tried to take on 2 or 3 then, and Shoemaker will clear it away. But it's been a great season for the Bell Swans so far. 2-1 up in this elimination final. Mick Stafford has his Chargers into their first NPL men's or top flight final series since 1986, when they were last in the comp. They were promoted in 2024 after an NPL, after a Northern League 1 promotion, and they've been on a very steady incline, which has been terrific. Edgeworth just now moving it to the outside. Pretty sure this is Cordwell taking on Matthews, and once again that ball's too close to the goal. I realistically think they're trying to hit it towards the penalty spot and bring it out a little bit more, but the execution hasn't been there from the wingers.
No, it hasn't. The one time that it has, it's produced the goal.
Got the goal.
Decent quality ball in from McManus, and suddenly there's an opportunity there that's presented itself. Yeah, if there is one criticism, I would say that the final ball into the box for Edgeworth has been lacking in that quality, but likewise, like you've said before, they defend the box so very, very well, Bell Swans. It's also difficult.
So bring you news of a substitution in a second. Nyonkuru going to have a shot here. Might have been blocked. No, it's going to be a goal kick. So Jared McKechnie was just subbed off then in the 70th minute, to a bit of my surprise. He was really getting into the game, and coming onto the field is Jaden Stewardson. And Jaden Stewardson is 26 years old. He's got himself 7 goals this year, and 2 goals this year. So a little bit of goal scoring ability from him. I just thought Jared McKechnie was getting himself right into the game and controlling that midfield in the last 15 to 20 minutes for Edgeworth. So Peter McDonald trying something a little different.
Maybe he just wants a little bit. Maybe the boy could give him a little bit more thrust for going beyond, because that's probably something that they have lacked, is that little midfield thrust.
Sorry, it was Jared Sutherland, the substitution. That's my mistake, number 18 rather than the number 9. So Sutherland, the youngster, looks very young actually. So they move it forward. That needed to be very calmly defended by Harrison, and it was. He got down on his knees and almost genuflected like he was at church then as the ball bounced off his chest. This is Sutherland. He looks a speedy type as he gives it across to Goodman. Goodman taking on Matthews again. Matthews would be having nightmares. Goodman, and the substitute had a golden opportunity, Brett, and he put it over the bar.
You can see why, though, that exactly that. What he's given that the Edgeworth group is that little bit of energy from midfield, and Goodman's got a game round the back. This time he's picked out a black shirt rather than a yellow one, and the sub will be a little bit disappointed that he's not made better contact. Lifted his head on impact and unfortunately put it high, wide and handsome.
Yes.
But certainly something I think that would give Edgeworth a lot more confidence now.
Injection of pace here with Jared Sutherland. The 18, he's got the little headband on, the white boots. He's going to inject a lot of speed into this midfield. They've got just under 18 minutes and change to score one more. They were 2-0 down after 27 minutes when Dean Pettit's goal went into the back of the net. They went into half-time with some serious work to do. They've got themselves back in the game, the Eagles, and a 59th minute header from Tyler Harrison has really injected some life into this game here at Jack McLaughlin Oval in the NPL Men's Elimination Final. 2-1 in favour of Belmont Swansea.
We've certainly not seen, as an attacking threat in this second half, Bell Swans. I think everything we saw was very much revolved around their first half performance. I think in the midfield, Edgeworth have actually started to dominate a little bit, had a lot more of the ball and have used the ball better. So it'll be interesting in this last 20 minutes to see whether there could be some changes that Mick could make that maybe might be able to support some of that midfield or to regain that midfield domination.
Jaden Stewartson's on also for Edgeworth. Believe it might be Stephen Cordwell that's come off the field, the number 12. I think it might have been a double sub and might not have been. Maybe my lack of quickness to pick that up might have been the difference. Certainly got the ground announcer that's been very clear over the speakers, that's for sure. So we've got just over a quarter hour left here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. One of these sides are going home and they're going to start Mad Monday. The other mob's going to keep going. This is Gwelly. He's got McGee. Gwelly! Gee, that had some heat on it. And Conway stood right in front of it and parried it away and regained. That could have almost been 3-1 to Bell Swans. The danger of the league's second top scorer in Marco Gwelly nearly making the difference.
It certainly was great strike, had plenty of power. McGree made a great run, actually. I thought he would, but for a while he only had one thing on his mind, and it ended with what it was, which was a great strike and needed Conway to be good.
Here's Sutherland. Sutherland delivers a teasing ball in that was cleared by Fayers. Tell you what, Brett, it's built championships and finals victories, playoff victories are built on great defence, and I think the 4 and the 6 for Belmont Swansea, Cable and Blunden and Fayers, they've been outstanding. That pairing.
Have, but you'd be disappointed. Again, great run from the sub, but it's just the final ball, and again, we've seen it so often.
Well, that trickled out the back, and I thought Woweries was going to pounce. Could have been a late foul there. Referee said play on. Assistant referee didn't put the flag up at all, so they continue to play it. Jackson goes to the back post for McManus, who might have got a head on it. But Archbold cleans up the danger. Starting to get a little bit twitchy, Belmont Swansea, under this pressure. Jones, too heavy for Shoemaker. Irvine Rundle's game's been quite unheralded too, I think, the 13 for Bell Swans. It's been really good in that back half of the midfield where he's been able to control and distribute. I think his game's been terrific too for Bell Swans.
I think they've worked really hard. I think the trouble I would perceive at the moment is that what they're looking at is that I'm not so sure there is that much that can be changed that will actually make them stronger, and I think that's something potentially with the squads. There's not the depth of players. It looks as though the vast majority of these players for Bell Swans are going to have to last the full 90, because I'm not so sure there's going to be that many impact players coming on that's going to change, or what Mick would perceive will change the game for Bell Swans.
He did message me during the week, and he said it's the best available team he's got today, so no excuses if they can't hang on, as Sutherland turns away. Is that too heavy for Goodman? No. Past Matthews. Just gets past him there. Matthews, that's a dangerous challenge, but got there. Oh, here's a chance for Sutherland. Turned, panicked, couldn't quite get there. Shoemaker's got time. That volley! My goodness, that was some effort. And it was tipped over by Archbold. Another fine stop from the Belmont Swansea goalkeeper there, Brett. What an effort from Kai Shoemaker.
Great effort from Shoemaker, great save from Archibald. For me there, Sutherland's got to take that first time. I thought if he had a great chance, maybe he was thinking about the last strike when he's put it over the top. But for me, if he'd have taken that first time, I think it would have been different.
Corner Edgeworth. A little bit of shirt pulling in the back. Here's Sutherland again, and he's put it over. he just gets a little bit nervy, I reckon, around the goals, Jared Sutherland. He looks a young guy, so maybe
what he has done, he's given Edgeworth a lot more of an attacking
Sure
threat,
has.
and certainly since he's come on, he's got in and around the game.
Nyonkuru, not the best delivery for the day, but Fayers couldn't clear it. He'll get another go, Nyonkuru. Headed on, cleared away Blunden. Back in Jones, Blunden again. Just that true centre-back that just goes heave-ho and gets it out of there. Loved his work today, Adam Blunden.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. Everything defensively, anything in and around it, he's done tremendous to actually stop it.
Hornery has gone back to front, needs to find Gwaley. It's come off Sutherland. Is it a corner? No, it's a goal kick. That was a great run, Jed Hornery.
He seemed to run out of idea, or I know there was only a guy in the middle, but he's complaining he should have got a corner, but yeah. Space
is opening up here at Jack McLaughlin. Is the resistance starting to come to an end here for Belmont Swansea? They're hanging on for dear life. McManus ran into a cul-de-sac of 3 Belmont Swansea players. Got a little bit of help from a friend, and that friend was Stewartson. He's got 2 goals this year. Can he step up and make a difference? This is McManus. They still got plenty of time. We're in the 79th minute. Hope you're enjoying all the action on the Northern New South Wales football YouTube page. As Jones takes on Fayers, sends it ball deep. Jackson retrieves. Can he keep it in time? He will. He's got a little bit of time to size it up. Jackson back in. There's 2 in the box. And Goodman had a prime opportunity, Brett.
He certainly did. Another great ball in this time again, and Goodman's tried the scissor volley, but has not really quite executed it, and it's gone wide. But that was a good chance because there was a lot of space there as well. For the first time, the 2 centre-backs of Bell Swans weren't in attendance, and for me, that's probably as good a chance as Edgeworth have actually had.
Sun shining down very brightly after we had a bit of drizzle early in the game. A little bit of wind, but the conditions otherwise are excellent for a game of football here on a Sunday afternoon in late August. Newcastle football in the Northern New South Wales NPL men's. It's been a great game. Tale of 2 halves, should we say, with Bell Swans taking the first half as Goodman takes a strike from outside the box and Archbold is equal to the challenge. They're certainly piling on the pressure now, the Eagles.
Certainly are. Every time that the ball gets to McManus or Goodman, there looks as though things are going to happen. Certainly with Goodman, I think throughout the game he's been a threat. Probably, you could say, his last execution hasn't been as consistent as what the opportunities he's presented himself to be. But I suppose that's synonymous at the moment with Edgeworth. I think that they've, certainly in this second half, looked a lot more threatening, have had more of the play, and have actually done a lot more with it.
Shoemaker got it back to Goodall. Is the lack of a substitution going to cost Belmont Swansea here? That chipping ball over the top to Stewartson, who looks like he's the real target man now for the Eagles with Cordwell's departure.
Yeah, he's the sort of physical outlet that they've got or looking at in relation to that. I just think that the difference at the moment is McAllister has actually given Edgeworth a little bit more of a different dimension that they didn't have.
Here's Goodall. Nyonkuru. Touchback. Sutherland! Sutherland! Well, he's had a couple of chances. He had to make one go in. And he's made it count. 82 minutes gone. Jared Sutherland, the super sub, comes on and levels the scores here in the elimination final. It's game on, 2-2.
Yeah, when you talk about making impact, I think certainly Sutherland has made impact. Like you said, he's been in positions where he'd be a bit disappointed that he hasn't actually scored prior to that, because I can remember 2 where he's been in space, and this time right place, right time, and with the composure to go and put it in. This is going to be a long 10 minutes, I think, for Bell Swans. Certainly the momentum is all with Edgeworth now.
Second goal of the season for Sutherland. He scored in a 3-2 win against Lambton Jaffers in round number 13. So timely opportunity as Gwelly. I think Belmont Swansea have to come out and try and win this in the 90, Brett, because I don't know if they're going to last further than that. If they've really slowed down in this last 10, and if what you've said about their substitutions is correct, I think the opportunity to play it in extra time might not favour the away team in this one.
No, it's going to be a long 10 minutes. Should we say that the way that the game has gone in this second half, it's been all Edgeworth. They've upped the game, they've made the right impact, and they've looked a lot more of a threat than they did in the first half.
Goodall comes in, Nyankuru. Back to Sutherland. It was probably the first time Goodall's hit the pass exactly where it needed to be. Gwelly and Harrison defended it well. Well, it was Harrison's goal in the 59th minute that sparked the comeback for the Eagles. He's been much more assured in defence in the second half, and that's coincided with the Eagles starting to come to life. It's 2-2 here, 83 minutes gone at Jack McLaughlin Oval, the Nest, the home of the Edgeworth Eagles. This do-or-die elimination final here on the Northern New South Wales Football YouTube pages. McManus feeds into Jackson, who's been a lot more lively. Shoemaker gives it across Jackson, has a bit of room, tries to get to the outside of Matthews, out to Goodman. Goodman, still working, went down, continues against Matthews, spinning. Nyankuru! What a ball from Flynn Goodman. He gets it right. Aaron Nyankuru, with his 8th goal of the season, is that the winner? The ultimate comeback from the Eagles from 2-0 down to 3-2 up. 84 minutes gone here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. Aaron Nyankuru scores. Edgeworth 3, Bell Swans 2.
Yeah, Goodman's been a threat all game, not just in the second half. And again, this time he's actually picked out Muru, and he's done the rest with a nice little guiding header past the goalkeeper. And I suppose the momentum has all changed. There has been changing, and to be truthful, Bell Swans have lacked the energy. It's going to be very difficult now for them to re-energise, now having to chase the game. But we'll see what happens, because they've always looked a threat on transition. But at the moment, they look a little bit of a tired team. Stewartson
nearly got there. 2 goals in a space of 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Has done the damage. They've come from 2-0 down after 27 minutes. They were 1-0 down after 4 minutes after club legend Reece Newton headed home a defensive error. And it was 1-0 Belmont Swansea after 4 minutes. Dean Pettit with a very timely intercept off a poor defensive effort. And the 1-2 pass with Gwelly saw him finish beautifully in the right-hand corner from the left-hand channel. That was 2-0. As we see Joe Cable coming off the field here for Belmont Swansea. And Ethan Hall to come on for Belmont Swansea. Ethan Hall has the 28-year-old got sent off in a match this year. He's had a few yellow cards, a few games up his sleeve to the sub. He's been the catalyst, hasn't he? The 18, Sutherland. The pace has just been electrifying. Here's Goodman. Goodman takes on his man. Fayer's trying to track back. Goodman takes on Blunden. He's got 3 to beat, and I reckon the numbers are going to tell in the end. But that was, once again, Jared Sutherland. It's been picked off. Shoemaker. He's going to have a go. Nice block. Goodman. And that's a goal kick. It's I think that's the pressure and the constant feed of balls into the box and those wide players is just all starting to compound now for the Bell Swans, and I don't know if they can get this goal back, Brett. I just think that it's the impact players. I think since they've made the double substitution, Edgeworth, they've looked a lot more of an attacking threat, and it's just been coming, whereas they've looked a little bit jaded, they look a little bit tired, they've not been able to change anything to realistically get them back into the game. And what's happened has been sort of coming. It's not something that's not been looked as though it wouldn't. Ball over the top near Nyankuru to Jones. This should finish it if he scores. And the defensive effort there from Irvine Rundle was just outstanding. That was last ditch.
But that's testament, I think, to Mick and his team. That's what they do. You know, here we are. I know because that's as easy to be 4-2 and out of. But now this could be the difference.
Could be 3-all if they can get it right. Oh, a little bit of a push. Let's play on. This is Hall. First touch, getting in there. Wallaries. Hall taken to the outside. Could have been a foul. Goal kick instead. And Hall's not happy. I don't know what he's trying to do there, but certainly isn't give the ball back to the goalkeeper quickly. 88 minutes gone here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. Well, if you'd had come in at halftime, you would have seen a lot of glum Edgeworth Eagles faces here at the Nest. Give it 35, 40 minutes and those frowns turn into smiles, and the smiles are going to turn, hopefully, for them into celebrations in the next 3 or 4 minutes. They've come from 2-0 down. 59th minute goal to Harrison. 82nd minute to Jared Sutherland, the super sub. And Aaron Nyonkuru in the 84th minute with his 8th goal of the season. Could be the nail in the coffin for the very game Belmont Swansea, who trail it by 3-2. As Sutherland, who has made an outstanding impact since he's been on the pitch, tries to get it. That looked a little harsh there on Hall. And surprisingly enough, Brett, that's the first yellow card of the game to Matthew Jones.
Yeah, it amazes me. It amazes me how yellow cards come out in the last 10 minutes and how many come out in the last 10 minutes. Because I'm pretty sure that there's been tackles such as that prior to that, but suddenly the book comes out. We can't go through a whole game without booking anybody.
Well, this could be one of the last-ditch efforts here. Chris Fayers over the football. He's a long way out. Has to be some very high-quality delivery. They scored off a free kick early and very assuredly cleared away by McManus. They've got a couple there to pick it up in Matthews. This ball's come back out on the wing. Gwaley, the target. Over the bar.
Best opportunity that they've had all second half. Got the ball wide, got the ball in. Gailey's gone in, has got the actual jump on the centre back, but couldn't direct his header on target, and it's just gone a little bit over the top. And it's going to be a difficult. We've now got 2 balls on, and we're playing for time and everything else.
Home ground advantage at its absolute finest.
So we'll find out how much. I wouldn't have thought there's more than 3. Really, there's not been too much injuries or anything like that. So, 2 or 3 tops, I would have thought. So we're just about ticking on to the 90 minutes now. It's up to the referee's discretion how much longer this game goes. Edgeworth, Eagles, 5 minutes of additional time, as said by the ground announcer. They've got 5 minutes to come back into this game. They were 2-0 up, Bell Swans, and cruising at halftime, and Edgeworth have found something from the depths of despair. Gwaley, the target, right in front of goal. McGee, defence did enough. Throw in Belmont Swansea. They're going to keep coming. They're going to not stop until this 95th minute, Brett. Can they do it? No, that ball's going to be put up into that box, and there's going to be a lot of physical contact, and that second possession. And now, Edgeworth just got to really hold out. But this is the first time they've really had to defend. Matthews, big throw in, flicked on, cleared away. Fayers might try a volley. Didn't quite get the connection. Here goes Stewartson now. He's got Irvine Rundle for company, but he does the discipline thing and holds it up. If they get it out to this near side where we are in commentary, there's McManus all on his own, and they do so. Almost well done there by Goto, but he got past him, McManus. McManus! Off the left post. That was some sort of strike, Brett. That would have been all she wrote. Yeah, it was a brilliant strike from McManus. He's got through the tackle from Sho Goto, got in on goal. And obviously the goalkeeper knew very little about it, but did catch it on the rebound. That was a thunderous strike. And here's McGee, possibly with the riposte. They're screaming for hands. The referee said, stick it in your jumper. And it goes out of play, and I reckon here's a yellow card. Too much lip. You can't have a go at the referee that much, but it's frustration from Andrew McGee. Yeah,
they were 2-0 up, and
he's tried to sort of lash one, and obviously the defenders got in the way. He thought it was hands, but the referee disagreed.
So they play it on. Hornery looking to try and turn. They have to be compact now, Edgeworth.
They just manage the game. I think they're experienced enough now to know what they need to do, how they need to do it. They'll stop the momentum of the game. It's all now about Bell Swans trying to get that ball forward as quickly as possible and seeing what trouble that can cause. But, looking at it at the moment, I think Edgeworth have realistically done what they've needed to do. They've been behind, and now they've come out and found the 3 goals and got themselves in front. I just refer back, but I just think that when you look back, I think the season that Bell Swans have had has been absolutely tremendous. I think nobody expected them to be in this situation, and certainly not to be in front. They'll be disappointed because they were 2 up. But I think overall they've had a tremendous season, and all credit to Mick and his staff for what they've done.
Yeah, Peter McGuinness on the touchline for Edgeworth. Definitely a game effort today from Mick Stafford's men. They got the 2-0 lead as Liam Wright's coming on for the few final minutes. McManus comes off the field. He had a very good second half, didn't he, Brett McManus? He didn't quite feature in the first, but his second half was superb.
Yeah, they certainly came down his side, down the right-hand side in that second half, and I think they had a threat from both sides. Goodman's always been a threat, but certainly when they brought McManus in, there was a lot more threat there as well. Nice
skill, McGee. He's going to win a free kick. Good decision, ref. And they could have played advantage there, as look who's got the football at his feet. None other than Marco Gueli, who could have turned and absolutely thundered one at the keeper. He's pretty upset the referee didn't blow advantage, but in fairness to him, he had a lot to do before it got out there.
He did it, and he did tremendously well, McGree. He's done very, very well with very little, supposedly, in this second half. But now there's an opportunity here on the edge of the box with a decent strike. I think this is it. If it works, they're back in it. If it doesn't, I think that's enough, and I don't think they're going to win this game.
Season on the line here for Belmont Swansea. Over the football's McGee. Corner. There's still a bit of time and a bit of hope. You'd be a pretty cruel referee to deny a corner on the final whistle. I've seen it happen, mind you. It's Fayez to take the corner.
Everybody up.
Everybody's up. Well. Yep. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at it here, Bell Swans. Their first finals appearance in the top flight since 1986. They don't want the party to end. Ball's still going. It's come off Matthews, has it? It has, and it's a goal kick. That was expertly kicked away there by Tyson Jackson, who just says, we'll have a few more seconds off the clock, thanks, ref. But, if it is to be the end of Belmont Swansea's season, they've had a very positive season, and I think Mick Stafford could take away a lot of positives from it. They were 2-0 up today. That's a positive, but to give away 3 goals in the space of time they did, and they might mean a bit of a bolstering of the squad, really.
I think it comes down to depth of squad. He's not had it, and unfortunately he's not been able to rotate his group.
Yep.
Pete McGuinness has, and he's done it very, very well with Sutherland coming in and giving the different complexion to the game.
Yeah, it comes down, like you said, I think the squad depth is going to be something that the Bell Swans will need to work on in the pre-season, and if they can do that, they've certainly got a nucleus. If they can hold on to Marco Gueli, that'll be a key thing too, whether he moves on to another league or a big club in terms of possibly an A-League stint, but you just won't know. It's the pre-season and time will tell, but his 25 goals have got them to where they are now, and I'm not sure if this will continue for them any longer. The referee has blown the final whistle here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. Peter McGuinness and the Edgeworth Eagles blow a massive sigh of relief. They were 2-0 down at half-time against a very game Belmont Swansea FC. A 4th-minute goal from Reece Newton and a 27th-minute goal from Dean Pettit saw the half-time score. Belmont Swansea 2, Edgeworth 0, and the hearts were racing here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. They got a lifeline in the 59th minute through Tyler Harrison, Jared Sutherland came on for about 7 or 8 minutes and scored the equaliser in the 82nd minute with a shot that went straight down the middle and would beat the keeper. And in the 84th minute, Aaron Nyankuru was the hero. He put through the goal that sees Edgeworth Eagles win this elimination final here in the NPL men's competition at Jack McLaughlin Oval by 3-2. It will see them go through to the second round of the finals, where they will take on the loser of Maitland and Western Bears, which is going to be played in about a minute's time, or start in a minute's time, at Cook Square Park. Brett, sum up the game for us, mate. It was an absolutely terrific spectacle of Northern New South Wales football today.
Yeah, it certainly was. As I say, a game of two halves. I think Bell Swans had the first half, got their 2 goals, looked very strong. Edgeworth showed little patches where they looked as though their second half performance that we saw could come about, but in the second half definitely they went up a gear. They started to control, started to get the wide players into the game, got crosses in, and eventually from those situations they eventually got the goals that they needed to win the game. But like I said, I think overall the impact of Sutherland and the two and did make a big difference to Edgeworth. There was suddenly a little bit more energy, a little bit more brightness about them, and as I said, they certainly self-believed, and eventually they got what they believed, which was a victory over Bell Swans. But Bell Swans can tap themselves on the back for an excellent season and a good